Last time out we looked at Buxton at step 2, but today we're dropping 5 steps below to look at Totternhoe in step 7. This is the most consistent team in non-league football, but before we get into Totternhoe FC, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe as we're trying to hit 250 subscribers before the end of 2025. Before we take a look at the club's history, let's talk about the ground. Since the foundation, they've been playing at the 500 capacity Totternhoe Recreation Ground, which is just outside Luton. Currently, this ground does not meet ground grading requirements as it doesn't have enough seats, or a gate for paid entry, or enough covered terracing either. It is also interesting to note that when driving past the ground, from where you are on the road, you could park along the road and see the full pitch, which obviously they'd have to deal with. They're going to meet ground grading requirements. The ground only has a small bit of covering behind the goal, with a very small amount of covered terracing. The ground is also very close proximity to 3 other football grounds: Cannington FC Cannington Sports and Social Club, which is just 6 miles away. They are also very close to Kingsway Recreation Ground, home of another team we've covered on this channel, 61 FC, which is just 5.5 miles away. And both these teams play in the same division as Totternhoe FC. Finally, just 2.1 miles away from the Spartan South Midland Premier Division side Dunstable Town and Southern Central side AFC Dunstable, who both share Creasy Park. They do have a bit of a rivalry with Caddington, getting slightly higher attendance numbers whenever they play them, but that is due to just proximity of the clubs. Before we talk about recent history, let's look at the history of the club over the last 100 or so years they've been around. The club was founded in 1906 and played in the local regional leagues until 1958 when they joined the South Midlands League. Their record highest finish was 3rd in 1993-94 when they were playing in the senior division. They also finished runners up in the South Midlands League Division 1 to get promoted to the Premier Division. The first time was in 1968-69 and the second time was in 1985-86. They'd also win the league in their 4th season in the South Midlands League in 1961-62. After the South Midland League and Spartan League merged in 1997, they joined the Spartan South Midland League Senior Division. After not seeing a top half finish, the league got renamed and reshuffled in 2000, and they joined the Spartan South Midland League Division 2, which is where they currently are now. Remaining comfortable mid-table, although they have had a few top 5 finishes, but they've been very consistent, averaging kind of around between 13th and 7th. They took part in the FA 11 times, but only reached the first round proper once in 1988-89. They lost 1-0 at home to East Thurrock United. Let's jump straight into the 21-22 season, the 115th year of Totternhoe's history. The Tots finished 7th out of 15 teams that season, but they were just 6 points from the closest team above them, Amesbury United, on 54 points. They were also 11 points from New Borough St Peter, who were below them, so a very, very comfortable in the position they were in. They won 15 games this season, the biggest being a 4-0 home win to Buckingham United, but only 25 people were at that game. They lost 13 games all season, but the biggest was a 7-0 away loss to Pitstone Pavilion, with 76 people coming out to watch the game. They also reached a cup final this season in Division 2 Cup, but we'll talk about that after we talk about their outing in the Gladwish Challenge Trophy. They lost 4-1 to Leighton Town at home in the first round, with 134 people making the time to watch the game. In the Bed Senior Trophy, they lost 2-1 to Sharnbrook in the first round. Sharnbrook are in a lower step. The only cup we really care about this season is Division 2 Cup. In the first round, Totternhoe beat long-time strugglers 61 FC away, 2-0 to book a quarter-final tie, just a week later against Berkhamsted Raiders, who are now, don't exist. But the Raiders were no challenge for the Tots, as they ran out 4-1 winners, but it saw them get a semi-final away in Hertfordshire to play Trin Corinthians. But after a far tougher game, Totternhoe returned to Bedfordshire with a final to play. The day was marked on the calendar, the 5th of May 2022. MK College Academy would make a 27-minute journey to the recreation ground. And after beating Totternhoe 7-1 at home just a week earlier, the Tots held the Scholars to a 1-1 draw after 120 minutes. But unfortunately, 162 people watched Totternhoe lose 3-1 on penalties. That season is Totternhoe's history for the last 30 years, defined in one season. Any other club would be proud of that season, but for Totternhoe, a season like that is just kind of the way it is. Obviously, the cup final isn't, but getting knocked out early in the higher competitions and then just falling to a mid-table finish, a very comfortable mid-table finish. It's just kind of the story of Totternhoe, which is why they're the most consistent team in non-league. The Tots had a top 5 finish for the first time in 7 years in 2022-23, as Totternhoe finished 4th. They're 3 points off a third place play and the promotion winners Leighton Town Development, who ended the season on 73 points. And they're 8 points above Aston and Clinton, who are just 62 points. So yet again, they're very comfortable in 4th. The Tots won 22 out of their 32 games, but the biggest was at home when local side 61 FC came to visit the recreation ground and left with a 10-0 defeat, with 72 people coming to watch that game. They only lost 4 games, but the biggest was at home to Milton Keynes Bay side New Bradwell St Peter, which we also made a video about, which we linked below, who hit Tots for 5 as the Tots were left battered and bruised in front of 65 people. Totternhoe didn't have the same success in the Cups this season as they did last season. In the Gladbridge Challenge Trophy, they lost 3-2 at home to Spartan South Midland Premier Division side Ardley United with 127 people at the game. In the Anagram Records Trophy, they lost 2-1 to Catholic United at home with 75 people at the Cup upset. They got a bye into the second Division 2 Cup, but they faced weak opposition in Brisbane Rangers Development, who were brushed aside the recreation ground and were handed a 5-1 loss, with 75 people coming out to see it. In the quarterfinal, they hosted Caldecott FC, and they came out better in a slightly tougher 4-3 game, with 65 people watching the Tots fight their way into the semi-final against Ainsbury, which was played 45 minutes away in St Neots. Ainsbury Rovers beat Totternhoe 2-1 with exactly 100 people at the game. This season was important for another reason. This was the first season that the current manager, Lewis Bowley, kind of broke into the first team and played relatively consistently. He had played for the Totternhoe reserves, but he was the most consistent player for the Tots this season. He's been twice in the process. But why do I bring this up? Normally I wouldn't bring up whether a manager played for the club and then came back a manager. That's normally not particularly relevant. But you will be able to get to hear from Lewis in an exclusive interview later on in this video, so make sure you stick around for that. Last season, Tots fell back into mid-stable mediocrity as they slipped away all the way down to 10th place, just on 49 points. And they were 1 point away from 9th place MK College Football Academy. But also 1 point away from Stony Stratford in 11th place. The club won 14 games this season, with the most goals coming against the 61 FC on the 3rd of February 2024. At the recreation ground, 65 people saw the 4-1 dominant win. This season also saw some very poor results start creeping in, as 65 people went to Green Lane to watch Bovingdon beat Totternhoe 7-0. That wasn't their only 7-0 loss of the season, though. It's also important to note that this season was Lewis Bowley's last game. His last game was that 7-0 loss. And he also then took over from their previous manager at that time, but instead of even opening a goalkeeper area. The last manager also oversaw the 7-1 loss at home to Old Bradwell a week earlier. This season saw the club win silverware, but we'll talk about the other 2 cups first. As in the Gladbridge Challenge Trophy, they lost Fulham's Premier Division side Bulldog away at the new Land Meadow with 75 people at that game. And in Division 2 Cup, they lost at home 2-0 to Aston and Clinton with 65 people in attendance. The silverware they won this season was the Bedfordshire Senior Trophy. The final was played at Stotfield FC's new Roker Park against Elster Abbey of the Bedfordshire Senior League, so it's low opposition. The Tots ran out 4-2 winners after being 3-0 up at the half. This was the first silverware the club won in many, many years. After that Bovingdon game, Lou Bowley took over, assisted by his player coaches of Ryan Keeble, Lee Loseby and Ryan Quinn, who have all played for the club and are part of the squad this year. This season is looking to be one of the best seasons in Totternhoe's 119-year history. They're on course for a third place finish in the SSMFL Division 2. At the time of scripting, it's March 2025, and they're just 1 point away from second place Ainsbury United, who currently have 48 points. At 7 points from a promotion spot, but even if they achieved that, they wouldn't be able to get promoted, as they wouldn't tick all the boxes when it comes around to downgrading. They've only lost 5 times this season, the biggest loss coming away to Sarah FC at King George V playing fields, as it was a 4-1 loss in front of 45 people. The biggest win made that loss very relevant as they wiped the floor with the 61 FC at home as they won 9-0 in front of a crowd of 70. Relative of the assistant manager Ryder Keeble scored a hat-trick against 61 FC's goalkeeper Rafa Aponza. In the Gladwish Challenge Trophy, they got knocked out in the first round to Division 1 side Huntingdon Town. At home, with 72 people seeing the 2-0 loss. In Division 2 Cup, they reached a run-out semi-final, but they are yet to play it. There's still about 12 games left to the season. So I'll post on my Twitter how their season goes at the end. But we can still look at how they got to that semi-final though. In the first round, they got a bye and went straight into the second round, playing Amesbury Rovers away, winning 2-1, giving them a tie at Old Bromley United home, which they saw another simple 2-1 win. And after both ties, they got booked for a game at the John Clements Memorial Ground to take on a Cotton semi-final, which is yet to be played. In the County Cup, they lost 5-4 penalties to Caldecott FC in the Bedfordshire Senior League after a 0-0 draw. If you want to hear more about how this current season is going, then you'll enjoy what's coming next. We have an exclusive interview with Lou Bowley. Here it is. Tough game today. What do you make of the game?
Game-wise, I feel sorry for anyone that paid to come and watch. It was a very good game either seen. I mean, they're second from bottom, but if they have a team like that or they play like that every week, I don't think they'll finish second from bottom. Yeah, frustrating. We played Wednesday. We played Newport Paint on Wednesday, and that was a tough game, and we deserved to win that. But today we probably deserved to lose. And they would probably say that a draw was a fair result based on the chances that we missed at the start. But we were terrible, to be honest, mate. Terrible.
You're up there in the league. I think you're sitting in third at the moment. What do you think your chances of promotion are this season?
Obviously, promotion depends on the ground grading and obtaining floodlights. It's not our plan to go up this year. We've got Ironbury ahead of us and New Bradwell that are probably going to win the league because they beat them the other night. But yeah, so I think it's a plan for the future for us to hopefully get promoted if we keep the same team. Like we've got a few lads that are playing below the step that they should be playing at, but that's like quite a few teams in this league. The lad that plays up front for MK Irish Mason, I've played against him and I've seen him play before. Like he's a good player. So that's the plan, is to go up maybe in the next couple of seasons. But I think New Bradwell will go up this year. I think they're doing their ground up to go up, which they deserve to. They're a good team, and then Ironbury are a really good team as well. So I don't know if they'll go up via a central league or something like that. So if those two go up out of our league, then they are the two that deserve to go up, to be honest.
What was your plan kind of going into this season?
To be honest, obviously I took over from our old managers towards the end of last season, so I've never been manager before. I've never done anything like this, so I've got a couple of lads that helped me out. Our plan before the start of the season was to finish mid-table because we didn't have a forward a week before the season. We had about 11 players, but luckily a lot of the lads have come back because of who's actually rejoined. So as the season's gone on, we've just taken it as sort of like a free hit, really. We got a lot of results at the start of the season where we was doing quite well. And then we've lost a couple of games recently. We lost to New Bradwell down to 10 men for 80 minutes. I mean, they would probably say that we should have got something out of the game, but we didn't. Conceded last minute at Ironbury, conceded last minute today. Just the story of our season, really. Quite a tough one to take, but like I say, they're not where they are in the table based on what they did today.
Also, in the game you had some questionable refereeing decisions. What kind of making the referee?
The less said the better, to be honest. It's a theme. I don't know if it's a theme at especially step 7, but when I go and watch step 4 and step 5, referees do get the decisions wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a tough job, and as you go further down the pyramid it probably gets harder because of the lack of help that you get. We've had the linesman far side, not my side, the far side before, and difficult to deal with, to say the least. And I thought the ref was questionable, let's put it that way.
Anyone that wanted to come down to watch Totternhoe, what would you kind of say to them? What should they expect?
Away from home, maybe not so much, because obviously we'd travel around the league, whatever. But home games, come down and support. Like it's a great club. Sorry, mate. Thanks, mate. Bit harsh for you can get that on the speaker. A bit harsh for the caution on the kicking the ball away. But but you're not meant to go for it.
But watching Totternhoe at home, what would you expect from that?
Well, beforehand, before like I took over, or what we call it, we didn't really play too much football. It was very direct. We had over the last couple of years, we've had a really good squad of lads that have gone on to play higher. So it was a little bit more direct, but it worked. So this year we've got a few lads in that are actually very good footballers. So to get them in and try and play a bit of football, I mean, you might speak to some players like so and so. Do you want to come in?
I want to kill you.
We'll let him go.
That's alright.
Yeah, so Totternhoe at home, we just try and play a bit of football really. We're quite entertaining to watch. Our games are normally entertaining with goals at the start, goals at the end, especially at the end. We've conceded and scored quite a lot of goals in the last minutes, but at the start of the season, like we touched on there, we didn't really have expectations, but we're just riding a wave. And for Totternhoe as a club, obviously a self-funded club, we don't have a budget, we don't pay any players or anything like that. We just try and sort of pride ourselves on the camaraderie, really, just people enjoying playing football. So that's it, really. That's it, mate.
I hope you enjoyed that interview, and if you want to see more just exclusive interviews, then you'll enjoy my second channel, which is also linked below. That's just Chock with just interviews. Anyway, prediction time. As we said, promotion to goal for the future, after they can ensure they meet ground grading requirements. This is his first job in management, and he's doing a fantastic job. For as long as Totternhoe can keep him, he will probably be the person that will take them up when they meet ground grading. For the next 2 to 3 seasons, I can see Totternhoe remaining where they are, between 5th and 1st every season until they meet requirements and go up. They have a bright future with, for as long as they can keep them, very capable players, and they can definitely take Tots to the next level. They are a really good footballing side. They play very nice football, and to be honest, they're one of the most historic clubs in the Spartan South Midland League. I think they deserve to be playing in Division 1, and I think it's only a matter of time before we see them there. I'm looking forward to seeing how Totternhoe get on, because they're definitely an up-and-coming side. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you'll also enjoy my video about MK Irish and New Brothers St Peter. But yeah, like, comment, share and subscribe. And this video has been posted on non-league day. So, if you haven't already, look around. Like, see if your local team is playing today and go give them a watch. Because, for as far as I understand, every team's doing some sort of stashed admission prices or free entry for EPL ticket holders or whatever. So go have a look around, just go on Google Maps, put in football club, and just see what's local to you, and go and watch our local non-league games. Support the non-league community, support non-league day, and support your local club and local community. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.